I'm Chip Townsend, and this is the Team Chip Podcast.
You see yourself as constantly being wronged, and what it does is then it makes you shift the responsibility away from yourself.
Put your mind on things worthy of praise, worthy of excellence. Switch that mindset to it's a blessing and I get to, not it's a curse and I have to. All right, guys, welcome back to the Team Chip Podcast. I'm back with Ms. Glyn Ann. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'd be better if that mic was closer to you.
I realized that I had it pointed out. Leave me alone. Stay back.
Stay back. All right, guys. Today we're going to do a quick chat about mindset and how mindset can, just some ways. We are not psychologists or psychiatrists or anything like that, but, we've been in business for a long time and want to talk a little bit about how mindset can impact your martial arts school, but just your business in general, right?
Yeah. So we've talked about, just kind of leading into this, we've talked about how there are people in your life that whenever they walk in the room, that the air leaves and you're just like, oh. And then there's also, on the flip side, there's those people that
if that person is sitting next to you right now, just give them a high five. It's all good. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
If you get a high five.
Oh, no.
Okay, this is for you.
Could be a bad day.
No, but there's also those people that whenever they come in, that there's a huge sense of relief.
Right.
And, the thing that we want to really kind of hone in on is what is it about those people that really helps to shift the room. Right. And I would posit that is it's their mindset and the way that they approach things. Absolutely. And the way that there's and so that's kind of what we wanted to dig into today is the mindset.
Absolutely. I don't think you can overemphasize the importance of your mindset, where your mind is and how you're thinking. And, gosh, it's so powerful. But I also think back to action leads motivation. A lot of times, our actions can help set up a better mindset, right? And help us to improve that. But, it's a powerful thing, the way our mind works and the way we interact and the way we respond and react to all these things. And I don't like the word react so much because to me that kind of insinuates a knee-jerk, just off the hip. Right. I don't have any thought put into what I'm doing. But anyway, mentality, our mindset, it affects everything that we do. So what are your thoughts on this idea? I know sometimes people kind of, I don't know, again, we're not psychologists, but they kind of have this victim mindset. Like, talk to me about that a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think the thing to be sure and clarify is in victim mindset, we're not talking about a legitimate victim and not saying that that's a negative thing. A truly, a victim is somebody that's experienced direct physical, emotional, or financial harm from a crime or accident or abuse leading to trauma. Right. Not victim mentality, which is a persistent it's persistent powerlessness and blame. And that's a completely different, and it can be because of something that happened a long time ago, but it's the, instead of moving forward, and I don't know, this is a real sticky because it's real hard to even talk about it and feel like people are that we're minimizing it, and that's not really what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying the persistent hopelessness
and kind of blaming. Well, what I think of is people in from business perspectives, talk to people that own a business like, hey, how's this going? Well, it would be good, but this is going on with the environment, or this is going on with the economy, or this weather hit that week. And, just the constant, it's pointing out instead of pointing in and looking at what can we control right now, right?
Yeah, it turns you into you constantly defend. Whenever you're asked about something, your defenses come up, and you're constantly defending. I did it because of this, and well, it's actually because of that, and it's because of this, and because of the schedule, and there's always some other reason than saying, oh, you know what, I received that, I messed up, or we could tweak that,
right?
And
I think for our purpose today, when a leader in an organization, whether that's the business owner, or a high-level manager, or just anybody. Technically, anybody is a leader. Everybody is a leader at some level, right?
Absolutely. You're leading somebody. But somebody's watching.
Absolutely. But if we're leaning into at the leadership level, blaming or looking for outside excuses constantly, it creates a culture that the team thinks that that's the way to go. And it creates a culture that follows that pattern, right?
Absolutely. So instead of owning their own and receiving, we've talked about feedback before.
Right.
Instead of receiving that, there is a constant, you're defending, you're pointing blame, and you feel the thing. I think the thing in, just looking up like the differences between a victim versus the victim mentality
Right.
is that powerlessness, that just
Perceived. I would say perceived powerlessness.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And then that it's persistent. It just
Right.
and what a negative, sad way to see
Right.
everything.
Right. Well, and once something like that kind of takes root in a culture,
Yeah.
it really pulls things down, drags things down, causes divisiveness and all kinds of ancillary issues in your business that you just want to avoid. And so you don't want to create a culture that is constantly based on complaining, blaming,
Right.
excuses, etc. I know this is common sense, but we see this kind of stuff in businesses. As a matter of fact, yesterday we were doing some shopping for our annual Christmas get together for our team, and the young lady behind the counter was checking us out, and she made a comment about at this particular store you can't take the baskets outside, and she goes, yeah, we don't have a staff member to go out there and gather them up. They wouldn't get paid enough to want to do that. And it was like, I didn't really want to hear that as a customer. It's like,
I know, I kinda went,
it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of like just that negative, like kind of blaming the world type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, you see yourself as constantly being wronged, and what it does is then it makes you shift the responsibility away from yourself,
Right, onto someone
because
else.
you're the one that's constantly you've been done wrong.
Right. Well, we've kind of beat that up a little bit. So
Yeah.
let's talk about, what are some things we do? When we think about it, we exercise physically for our body. Shouldn't we train our mind?
Absolutely. I think the verse that comes to mind right off the bat is Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. I mean, boom, that's it. We're done.
Absolutely. Done, finished. We're out of here. Put your mind on things worthy of praise, worthy of excellence, right? Or that are excellent.
And I even think back to when this was written, and we think our problems are so much more. And I think, it's just that
I woke up to hot water this morning, so my problems aren't too bad.
I know we have running water and indoor toilets. I mean,
Right.
think about, there's a concept of, we talk about like catching yourself whenever you're talking negatively about yourself or negatively about your circumstances. It's that put off, put on, replacing that with things that are true. Exactly what you just said.
Right.
You think about the things that are that we have, we've talked about this too. It's the things that we take for granted
Every day.
that you kind of have to ground yourself sometimes and go, you know what? The sink is full of dishes, but by golly, I have a family that met around the table.
Absolutely.
And we
And we
had
enjoyed
a meal
each other.
together, and we like each other.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what? There's laundry. We talked about this, there's so much laundry to fold. And then it was like, you know what? Wow. We have an excess of laundry to fold.
Absolutely.
Because we have clothes.
Right. And what a gift that is. So,
Yeah.
exercise, repetition, and consistency.
Yeah.
So it's repetition and catching yourself. No, minimize the negative self-talk. When it starts with the leader, if I'm constantly, I can't, I'm not good enough, or I'm not whatever, then that ripples out into the culture. Replace it with, like you said, truth. What is the truth? I may have to work hard, but I can get this done with
Absolutely.
enough time, with enough, and having that self-belief, and, refuse to speak, self-doubt and those sorts of things to yourself, and start using vocabulary words that build yourself and build the people around you. Like, speaking from a positive place instead of a negative place. So I think that's really, really powerful stuff. And remember, like stress and frustration and scarcity, when you speak that stuff, it kind of spreads downward into your team. Strength, gratitude, and growth raise the level of the room. So whenever you walk in the room with a sense of strength and, you're always grateful for everything around you, that ripples out into your people and helps to raise that level. Your words, man, it's so hard. You just don't realize, you learn that old saying when you're a kid, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is so far from the truth. Yeah. Our words are so powerful and impact our atmospheres and, the just our environments, our relationships and people around us so much that we need to learn to speak life and not speak negativity to people.
Yeah. The team, your team around you will mirror that. And, then it also becomes really glaring whenever somebody doesn't.
Right.
And that's the other thing that it does is if you have someone that consistently does not, then you're able to see it because you can see the negativity just oozing off of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so what are some things we can do to get that mental discipline going? Start every day with a prayer and some gratitude, right?
Absolutely. And the thing is, I think sometimes we think that prayer is not just okay, I've done that for the day. It's a constant
all day long
talk all
Absolutely.
day long. And what a privilege to carry our deepest concerns, our problems, our praise to the infinite God.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and I'm just thinking, I can't count how many times I've been, driving in that literal 5-minute drive from our house to our business and, been driving to handle something and just, hey, okay, God, can you give me wisdom for this situation? Can you give me guidance? Or, a friend posts something where they're going through something traumatic and you jump on there and go, hey, thinking about you or sending prayers. I tend to send the little prayer hands and I always send 3 Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. That's what my brain thinks when I send 3, cool. Right? And so, but the thought is, we're throwing up a prayer for you. I do my best. I don't always hit it 100% of the time, just to close my eyes for 30 seconds and say a quick prayer right there. Bang. Right. Even if it's short, because God already knows, right? So start your day with some prayer and gratitude. Be thankful. We already talked about that, but thankful for what you have. Another thing that I think that we need to be careful of is obviously language. We're not going to get into a vocabulary conversation here, but replace the words I have to with I get to. Things Absolutely. Like that. It drives me crazy whenever you have a friend, and I've been guilty of this so many times myself, and I catch myself doing it. So don't think this is me pointing the finger particularly, but you hear a friend that's like 15 years into their business and it was their dream, their passion, and they're building something great, and you're talking, they're like, today I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to do this and that. And again, I'm guilty right here. I've done it myself many times. But man, when you really think back, it's you That's built right. that. Like you've been hammering away at something that was amazing. Switch that mindset to it's a blessing and I get to, not it's a curse and I have to. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think I was actually talking about this with someone this morning that clarity is kind. Clarity and having clarity and expectations. And then also in follow through and in repercussions. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. But clarity and then I think being willing to say, man, I'm sorry that was unclear. This is what I meant by that.
Right.
But that is that clarity and respect.
Well, and not falling back and defending mediocrity or defending something you said that someone didn't understand.
Right.
Just going, oh man, let me restate that to be more clear. Because speaking with clarity is like, it's speaking truth, right? When you're clear and you're speaking truth, it's so powerful. Another thing too is the importance of when you're, in creating this culture and mindset, this positivity is praise with sincerity.
Right.
Don't just fluff people and go, nice shirt. If you walk by somebody every day and just say nice shirt to them, about day 2, 3, they kind of go, yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So have some sincerity in the things that you say to the people around you. And when you correct people, correct them with a calm, respectful confidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, on the other end of that correction is a person.
Absolutely.
And we've all experienced correction in a way that we still felt like we were appreciated as a human, and then we've also received correction where we feel like we were just a cog in a wheel, and there was no, it was like you're in or you're out, and sometimes harsh correction is necessary, but whenever I don't really love the word intent, but I don't have a better one. Whenever the intent behind it is that I do care about you, but this was a big. There's still even in the harshness, it's still calm, and it's not with them not emotional.
Right.
It's that we've talked about this too. Sitting back and taking that 24 hours to be able to make it in a calm and professional manner.
Absolutely, and I kind of love the old. Like Abraham Lincoln would, I think it was Abraham Lincoln would sit down and write a letter and stick it in his desk drawer, and then the next day, I'll throw
Probably
that one away. I've rethought that through the night here, and I've got a much better response that's much more logical and less emotional, right? Another thing too, when something goes wrong, just take ownership of it.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah, and we've talked about, ownership is not defending. Ownership is just like, okay, yes. And you may explain and go, well, this is why I did that, but it's not defending to the point of not hearing, because
Right.
you start defending to a point, and there's a point where you're no longer owning it. You're going, it was really this.
Yeah.
other thing.
Well, again, like you said earlier, you're trying to push that responsibility off
Yeah.
somewhere else, right? So again, just some things to think about. Get up every day, say a prayer, start your day with gratitude. I used to tell people all the time, I like to read maybe a chapter of the Bible, something like that, pretty early, first thing, because I think about it like putting something positive in the pot to get the day started, the pot being the head, right? Think through your language and replace the have-tos with get-tos. We're so blessed to live in the nation we live in, to have what we have, to do what we do, to have all of these amazing things, and opportunity out the wazoo out there,
Right.
to do what we want to do. Whenever you're speaking to staff or team, speak with clarity and respect. Remember, praise with sincerity, but, make your corrections with a calm confidence with, I hate to say it, speaking kind of truth in love. I know that's kind of cliche, and sometimes I hate this. People can use that to, as an excuse to be harsh or to be mean to somebody.
Yeah, they go, I love you, but.
But, right, everything after the but, everything
Yeah.
before the but doesn't matter, right? And then, whenever things go wrong, take ownership of it,
Yeah.
own it. And I think, too, something that's important right here is it's not a matter of if something's going to go wrong, it's a matter of when.
That's right.
Things are going to get awry, things are going to go off, not telling you to expect it and look for it, but when it happens, own it. And just remember, leadership is responsibility. It's and maturity a lot of times under pressure. So just making sure that you're prepared. So what are we going to do now?
So the guarding your thoughts, that's the kids, I think, laugh about and will joke about intrusive thoughts and
Right,
all of
right,
this
right.
stuff and make a joke of it.
Right.
But I really do think that you do have to capture your thoughts. You have to go,
Absolutely.
you know what, I'm thinking this and that. That is incorrect, and that's where you get into that put off, put on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be. I'm not thinking that today.
Right. Well, capture one of the favorite things is capture your thoughts and make them obedient to Christ.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Capture your thoughts and make them obedient to Christ. And if your thoughts are something you can't handle, do your best to hand them over to Him, because He can handle anything and everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So it's important that we definitely guard our thoughts. So some thoughts for you, guard your thoughts. Don't let negativity drive your decisions. Watch your words. We've talked about it already. Speak truth, discipline and direction. Be clear and have clarity in everything that you do. Lead by example. I didn't really talk about it much in here because we were kind of talking a little bit about mindset today. But, I think what we model physically too matters so much with our body language and our demeanors. And when you look into how much communication is body language versus tone and inflection versus the actual words you use, it's pretty mind-boggling. If you haven't looked into that, I would encourage you to look into it. I know that was a big learning experience
Yeah.
for me. And so just, guard your thoughts, be positive. Don't get into the victim mindset and let everything be everybody else's or someone else's fault, things
Right.
like that. And
And the words you say are absolutely, they're important. And, so don't hear that we're saying just the way you say it is all that matters, because the things that you do say is absolutely important. Proverbs 18:21 says death and life are in the power of the tongue. I mean, we have the ability with our words to uplift people, or we have the ability with our words to
absolutely
to condemn and to tear them down, and that's not what we're here for.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to point something out. If you're watching the video, there is a baseball bat here that says the Team Chip Podcast. It was a beautiful, amazing gift from Stone Growth Marketing, Miss Lisa Stone, who's a good friend, and we partner with her on some things. Thank you, Ms. Lisa. What an amazing gift. I love it sitting in the podcast room. Yeah, so cool. All right, guys. Hope you guys got some nuggets out of that. Just watch your mentality, your mindset. Make sure you're keeping it positive. Don't become a victim. Don't make excuses. Just own it and find a way. Like it, love it, subscribe it. Let us know what you'd like to hear about, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the Team Chip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget, subscribe, share, and or leave a review, because we need you. We appreciate you so much, and without you, we can't make this happen. Remember, consistency is the key to success, so go out there and never be outworked.